Good morning. Thanks, Grant, for joining us on Above and Beyond. We've just started this new series to share stories of inspiring stories and things that people are doing in South Africa in these tough times on the first day of stage 3. How's your morning today, Grant? How did you experience it?
Yeah, how's it? So this morning I went for a little run, which was quite exciting. Took my dog, which I think definitely was a new experience. But I think nice to be out and do some exercise.
Great. Yeah, me as well. In Milton, it was amazing. It almost felt like a carnival atmosphere outside. So Grant, just to jump straight into it, thanks for joining us on this 1st of May, public holiday, Labor Day, and really appropriate and apt for what I actually just met you this morning, believe it or not, on LinkedIn. Amazing, the power of social networking. And it really caught my eye. Grant really found a solution for UIF, which is a big problem for a lot of companies now. You know, people need to get paid, people need to eat. And I know the administration can be an absolute nightmare, and Grant seems to have found a fantastic solution. That's why I thought I'd bring him onto the program to share his learning and knowledge and also his backstory a little bit. So Grant, I'll just hand over to you. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. So I think just a bit of background. So I'm the owner of a company called eHire, and basically we employ 33 people. So I've had a lot of experience with the UIF and of course with all the funding programs and looking out for everything that's new and that's coming and updated in the media. And out of this, what we did was my partner and I, we actually because of the situation, we actually we created a new business called OpenRoute, which helps local businesses deliver or launch last mile deliveries within their neighborhood. And that's because of the technology and the experience that we learned within eHire that we were able to actually then create this, because we used to do or have part of our business in eHire was deliveries. So that's kind of, the background around my experience in business thus far. But in terms of the UIF, very much, definitely, I'm not an expert here. I just gave an experience share in terms of what we had done. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, saw some use to some of the points. And so just to give you a brief overview of what we did. So, but just before the lockdown, we actually did the manual hand in. So I had a file of 33, plastic sleeves with each of my employees' details. Yep. And all those, those documents that were required. I then hand delivered it to the UIF. Literally, I think it was a day or two before the lockdown. Yeah. And they changed the regulations right afterwards in terms of how they wanted it. So now they wanted you to send it to an email address, a specific one. So, then I sent it to that specific one, hadn't heard anything back within a week. 2 weeks went by. Then they changed the regulations again in terms of what they wanted, redid it, sent it again. And I think they changed it again, and then I redid it and sent again. So it was quite a tough, and a process, and the goalposts were moving, which I know most business owners are experiencing and frustrated about. So then the last, the thing that worked for us was actually relying on that online application system, the UIF COVID Tours application system. And from that, we actually, when you register your company, your business as an employer, all you do is you include your UIF number, and then from there, you're registered within that UIF application as an employer. And then you get to basically have two options. You either add a CSV Excel file, whereby they've got a 15-page, instruction manual how to do it. And as far as I'm aware, there's not one person or fellow business owner that I know of that has been paid timeously with that process, uploading the CSV file. Okay. So what we did was we uploaded or added each employee individually. So there's a button on the online application system to add employee. And so you click that and you literally go through the tedious task of adding the specific details of your employee. which most of them are quite like the same. Email address, cell phone number is your employer email address and cell phone number. And then you go through that process. And what I've picked up and assessed through just experimenting with that online application system is that when you upload a CSV file, call it a bulk upload, what happens, I think they're doing batch processing behind. So they're doing queuing or something on the back end where it's not updating their database in real time. And so, or their records in real time. So when you choose to add the employee individually, and I tested this with myself, it literally adds you immediately into their database. And how you would test this is once you add, so in this example, I added myself individually, and then it said successfully submitted, and then I try to add myself again. And then what came up was employee already registered. And that means that it's in the system. That's why it's done the validation check to reject. Where if you add your CSV file, and then you also add individually it lets it go through, meaning the CSV file wasn't in real time captured and updated into the system. So that's the biggest thing, I think, in terms of how to add the employees. And I think that the process afterwards, once you've added your list of employees, we got 33 employees. So what we did was we added 10, and then we clicked the check and submit button. So it like sends it in, submits it, and then we added another 10 and so on, just in case the site crashes. And from there, it took about 3 days for the UIF then to pay. So the good part is they paid. The bad part is they didn't pay everything. And what came out of it is that the system appears to be processing automatically the South African IDs, so i.e. South Africans, but the foreign passport holders, non-South Africans, the system, for some reason, it's not integrating with their records on the back end. So what happens is it returns an error code, or in our case, it returned an error code, and it said no ID number found. And then they give another explanation of that you now need to email your foreign employees 3 months proof of pay slip plus the UR19 declaration and so on. But again, I haven't seen any success with anyone sending to these bulk type of UIF emails. I haven't seen any reliability coming out of it. And I think what it appears to be happening online on the application system or the portal is they're busy developing or updating and improving the site daily. And I'm hoping, I'm optimistic that what will happen is they're going to get their systems, their back end into gear so that you can upload or they will accept the processing of foreign passport employees on their system. So I think that's the right now the hurdle that we're facing is very much that our foreign staff haven't been processed. However, they still are captured in the system. So for example, if I now were to try add that foreign employee again onto the online, it will say this person is registered, but it's just not linking in their back end with the records because of the ability not to process passports and asylum seeker, permits and so on.
So I mean, the bottom line is, if I put it really briefly, the bottom line is if you get onto that COVID site on UIF, you need to do it manually, not load the CSV file.
Individually,
They load them individually. The South African nationals will be processed and paid. Do they get paid? There's a capping, or they get paid up to what, 7,000? What's the capping?
Yeah. So what they did for the April lockdown, call it the April lockdown period, is they paid 5 weeks. So a lot of people thought they were overpaid, but the 4 weeks is the I think they said 3,500 Rand minimum. As the minimum that you'll get paid. And that's the equivalent for 4 weeks. So now people that that got paid higher than that, thinking that they would get paid 3.5. It's because the UIF has paid 5 weeks equivalent, because it started at the end of March, the lockdown. And so that's on that side of things. And then the max amount that you can get, or under this 5-week one, the max amount that they give is, I think it's around 7,500 Rand.
Okay.
And that's for, people earning, call it more than around, I don't know, about 15 to 20,000.
Okay. Well, look, I suppose it's better than nothing, and at least you found a way to process it quickly and efficiently. And I believe, so, I mean, obviously they'll try the foreign nationals, or I don't know, I'm sure they'll come out a solution, or it might just take a bit longer. So yeah, no, thanks for sharing that with us. And I believe also in your post you mentioned a labor and HR lawyer, or is an HR professional, which maybe we can just post in the link below, because I think people
definitely.
are in this time.
What I'll do is I'll send that for you, so you can include it in this as well. But her name is Carmen Fourie. She owns a labor practice called Employment Relations. Incredible professional individual that has really helped us throughout this whole process, and extremely proactive. So I'd really recommend using her, and even in future, just as a retainer. She's really been fantastic and completely independent of our businesses.
Okay, fantastic. So now, Grant, thanks very much for that. It was really inspirational, and I'm sure it's going to help a lot of people, because people are battling out there. And
I really hope so. I mean, just to give you a story, I phoned a customer yesterday, just to chat and ask how everything's going, and she's in the catering industry, and basically she was struggling with UIF, and she employs 55 employees, and so it was, and she had still been waiting because of the emails that she'd sent to those bulk emails, and she was a bit nervous to also apply online, thinking that there would be duplications. And so just from that I can imagine so many employers are nervous about the duplications. But we are through with her, and we actually went on a Zoom call last night, and literally we went through the registration process. We captured her employees. They weren't registered, so it hadn't been captured by that bulk email. And so literally we went through everything, and she's uploaded everything, and we're hoping that she gets paid in the next 2 days. So hopefully that's going to be a good one.
Fantastic.
So it's just little bits by little bits.
Fantastic. Thanks for that. Thanks very much. Now, just tell us a little about your business, the Open Route business. Just explain a little bit on, because it sounds very interesting, innovative. I mean, that's what we like. As we say in South Africa, it's a boermaak plan. I mean, we got to make a plan, and you've certainly done with the UIF. So now you've done one with is it aimed really at restaurants or fast food places, or who's it aimed at, or anyone?
So basically what Open Route came about is because my partner Chase and I, we've developed quite a bit of experience with taking a very offline business, or manual paper-based type of business, and completely digitizing and integrating the systems, and then of course using relevant technologies to to really make the business be better. And so now what we've been able to do is put this through into Open Route, and offer this experience and the technology around last mile delivery specifically, so that other businesses, other local South African businesses, can actually engage in a different sales channel with their customer. So this, simply put, if a business hasn't ever done or offered deliveries to their customers within their neighborhood, we come in. So for example, one of the quick spas, we went in, they'd never done delivery before, and we basically created a customer registration and order platform, very, very straightforward, so that everyone can literally book their order days, like slots, which are capped at 60 per day in this case. And it's completely integrated then with our last mile or delivery management platform. So then the spa literally gets the order, they pick the order for, say, the next day, and then a driver uses the system so that they can actually deliver to the customer. And the reason why I think it's needed is because the customer now receives an incredible delivery experience, because they get an SMS notification when the driver leaves. They can track the driver, see the driver details, and really just have the comfort of knowing exactly when the order is happening. And I think that's for us the big thing, just improving the communication. And you don't have to have a state-of-the-art or completely digitized business. We come in and we literally, just plug and play. And I think from that point of view, that's how we're trying to do it, just to help businesses grow, and with, of course, on the back end of using our experience in founding and growing a business, of 33 people.
Well, how is this going to differentiate from like a Uber Eats or
Yes.
the delivery, or how does how's it different? What's the different value proposition? Is it similar? Cool.
So I think, that's actually what people ask me a lot. And so what Uber Eats is doing, they're creating a marketplace. They're aggregating, they're listing, in this example, restaurants, and call it, little grocery businesses. And they control, Uber Eats controls the delivery. They control the customer experience. They control the customer, or they process the customer data, payments, everything. And the restaurant doesn't really have sight of that. So the restaurant gets a driver that picks it up, and then off they go. But I think what we're wanting to do is say, okay, well, the restaurant or the business owner, whether it's a restaurant, a caterer, any type of business that's wanting to do some sort of delivery to their customer, let's keep the relationship between the customer and that business, the restaurant. And I think that's the biggest thing, is we don't want, OpenRoute should not be seen as a marketplace where everyone comes as an end user to view a list of restaurants. OpenRoute, our customers are actually the businesses, and we're just trying to operate in the back end, enabling the business to connect, strongly with their customers. And just to give an example of that, QuickSpot, they had over 500 people register for their WhatsApp and order offering. And they're averaging around about 30 deliveries a day. And I think the great thing here is that now they've got 500 contact details of customers within their neighborhood. It's not about trying to distribute nationally. It's keeping it local and keeping it hyper local. So with that, now they're able to engage with those customers. So every Monday now they send an SMS saying delivery slots are still open, or here's a special, and customers order. So they keep the interaction, and it stays with them. So if there's a poor service delivery, if there's something wrong with the product, the customer goes straight to the business. They don't go through any sort of other type of medium. And I think that's the big thing here, just enabling businesses to do what they do best, but just do it in a way, in a maybe a more efficient or optimized way. And
they retain their customer. They retain control of their customer. And another thing, it's who's actually doing the delivery. I mean, it's also an opportunity to give people who haven't got work at the moment to actually, can they opt in to deliver, or who's doing the deliveries now?
So in terms of that, so what we're finding is some of our customers, like the restaurants and the retailer or the independent retailers, they may have their own driver and vehicle. And so they literally just get added onto the delivery management platform at literally no cost to add. You can add as many drivers as you want to. And basically then what happens is they use that driver and they pay that driver. So a lot of the time the waiters now, which of course you're not allowed going into a restaurant, the waiters, they're not doing that. And they're using their cars and they're getting paid and they're getting tipped, because a lot of people tip when you go deliver now, to the end user. But then if someone doesn't have a vehicle or doesn't have access to that sort of driver partner network, we then help them connect driver partners with them. Okay. And ultimately what we want is we don't necessarily want an environment where you as a restaurant click a button and you don't know who's coming. It's just a random person that rocks up, and we actually want the person that kind of lives around your neighborhood to connect with you. Say it's going to be John.
Mm-hmm.
And you develop a relationship with John, and you say,
Yeah.
John, this is how I want you to deliver.
Yeah.
This is how I want you to treat our customers. This is the way of my restaurant and how we do things. Give John a restaurant T-shirt. Give him some apparel. Make it personal and make that experience unique. Because if you call it mass produce this, it's not. I don't think that there's going to be that authenticity and that true customer experience where that relationship is direct. Because ultimately, if someone is getting or using a delivery service or a delivery channel, that's the only human element to the entire experience. So that's the only human element where someone actually is going to experience your brand, and you really want to make sure that you've trained, or that you've at least given the person the right tools or the right information so that they can do their best.
Okay, no, wow, that's amazing and well done. It's a need that's needed now, and you've come straight to the party without hitting any bumps. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, we're hoping for the best, but we'll live and learn as well, and we're learning just as much as everyone else, and we appreciate everyone giving us a lot of feedback as well. That helps a lot for us to learn and grow the business.
Okay, fantastic. And your event business, I mean, that's on hold obviously now until things,
So
as we say, out of chaos comes some clarity and some new innovations, and this could be a big thing. I mean, it could be the next big
so I think for our business eHire, our employees, they're safe. They're they're at home. They've received 80% of their net pay thus far. And I've made the promise to them for May that we're gonna. I said, out of all this uncertainty, we sent, because we have a WhatsApp group. I sent them a WhatsApp literally just before this, and I just said to them, guys, out of all this uncertainty, I can't guarantee anything in the future, next month and so on. But all I want to do, just to give some sort of comfort within this very uncomfortable situation, I just want to promise you that I'm going to give you that you will receive your 80% of the net pay for this month, for the next 30 days kind of thing. And I think that just helps with just creating some sort of certainty within a very uncertain, realm that we are in now. But the team are safe, and we're just, waiting for the government to, of course, adjust their situation based on the risk management approach. And if that's the case, we will then slowly, as the capacity increases, re-employ everyone, because how we've technically done it is every one of us were temporarily laid off so that everyone can qualify for UIF in the individual right as well as for TERS, which gives every employee the right to be re-employed in their role. So it's not a retrenchment, which is from my understanding, that's permanent, and kind of that's it. For us, it's really about saying let's recover the business, and then as it's recovering, let's get everyone involved, and because they're actually technically all employees still in the business, and it's just about how we work it to make the business survive and the people within it.
Well done. I must commend you on managing a tough situation in a really good way. And I'd like to wish you all the best, and thanks really much for joining us on this day, public holiday, but really helping everyone, your fellow South Africans, and just making it happen.
Yeah, and likewise to you as well. I think it's epic that you're doing something, to share information, helpful information. I think there's a lot of negative stuff out there. And my view is that it's a choice whether you want to be positive 100%. Or negative. It's just a choice. We'll find there's many things to find wrong, but 100%. Make the choice and stay positive, in my view.
Yeah, my final motto is always, why be ordinary when you can be innovative?
Yeah.
Don't be ordinary. Don't be ordinary.
Agreed. Thanks so much.
All right. Have a great day and all the best. And I really wish you all the best. And we look forward to hearing great things from you in the future.
Likewise.
Thanks. Take care. Have a good day. Cheers.